Hi everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage and Watercolor Wednesday. I'm Leslie Watkins. Today we're going to be making some watercolor washes using the refill inkers that you use to refresh your stamp pads. And these inks are very intense, they're very bright, they come in a great assortment of colors. There's at least 40 of them, or 45 I should say, and a couple of extras. And so there is a lot that you can do with just the reinkers, paper, and water. So let me show you what I mean. This is the Fluid 100 watercolor paper, and I've got 3 sheets here, and these are all wet. I've held them under running water, and I've got them on a piece of plexiglass. And what I want to do is I want to create some colorways that I will then use with the Butterfly Brilliant stamp set and dies. And so I've got my stamps mounted, ready to go, but I'm not going to use these until the paper dries a little bit, which may not be before this video is over. So I will post the end result after the video, but for now I just want to show you some of the ways that you can mix color on your paper. So I'm just going to, let me get my little palette. I have a whole bunch of reinkers handy, ready to go. And I have this little palette, and this just has a few drops of each color in it, and I'm going to refresh that. In fact, for today, I think what I want to do is I want to use this, I have a larger palette, and because I'm going to be using quite a few colors, I'm going to switch to that. Okay, so the colors that I'm using for my project are So Saffron. I'm just going to move this to the side so you can get a better look at what I'm doing here. So I'm just going to take So Saffron, and I'll put a couple of drops of that in one of the wells. And I'm going to be using 3 different colorways on each of my 3 different papers here. So I'm going to keep going with some more of these yellow tones. So this is Daffodil Delight. And then I have Pumpkin Pie. This is Calypso Coral. And then over here I'm going to put some Soft Sea Foam. I have Mint Macaron. And Just Jade. And then for my blues, I'm going to use Pool Party Coastal Cabana, and Pacific Point. Alright, now they all look the same right now, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my water painter, give this a little squeeze, and I'm just going to dilute some of this color and put it where I can see it so I don't grab the wrong color by accident. Right, so there are my yellows, my blues, my greens. Okay, so I'm ready to get started. And this is the medium water painter. This is the one that I use most often. And I'm going to start, I think you can see this all right. I'm going to start over here on the left. And I'm going to create some yellow splotches. I'm using plenty of water, and I'm going right to the edge. I want to make sure I get all the way to the edge. And I'm just going to let these colors flow into one another and mix and mingle. Now in order to do this particular technique, it is important that you use the watercolor paper because the cardstock will not hold up to this kind of wet and wet application. So any kind of good quality watercolor will work. Okay. That's looking pretty good. I want to get a little more of this yellow. And I'm just pushing the paint around a little bit so that it's dispersed how I want it. Now I'm going to rinse my brush out. I've got a container of water off to the side here, and now I'm going to go to my greens. So this is the soft sea foam. And this is the mint macaron. And this is just jade. Now if you get a little blotch like that, don't worry. That's okay. The butterflies are going to have markings on them, and that will just all work into the overall pattern. So not a problem. Just keep going. Getting it all the way to the edge. So this is the Just Jade ink, and for some reason it just seems to be a little bit thicker than the other ink, so I'm just adding a little bit of water to it so I don't get that big buildup of color like I did over in this area. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Got all my edges covered. And now I'm going to move on to my blues. So this is Coastal Cabana. I want to make sure I keep those edges nice and wet so that the color keeps moving. This is Pool Party. And finally, I'm going to add some Pacific Point. And I think you can see that when you use your reinkers like this, you can get some wonderful, intense color. So that's a lot of fun. There we go. Alright, so I'm just going to put this aside to dry, and when it's dry I'm going to come back and so today will be a double. I'm going to come back and show you what I can do with the stamps and dies. So I know we're live right now, and let's see what time it is. It's about 12:15. So I would say that these should be dry by 12:30. So if you want to take a little break, go get yourself a cup of coffee, some snack, and come back at 12:30. I'll show you the next step.